We are headed to a commercial break, but before we do so, we have a polling question that should be up on your screens. And what are we'd asked for your response on what are the odds that Build Back Better will have some provisions affecting grantor trusts. I'd like to get to the answers of our first polling question and then also have a second one. So what are the chances Build Back Better will include provisions including grantor trusts? And so we had a mixed reaction. 2% of the audience felt there was a 100% chance. 50% of the audience felt that there was a 51 to 99% chance. 39% of the audience felt there was between a 1 and 50% chance, and then 7% said there was a 0 chance.
Okay, and I think what we'd like to do now is react to the answers to the polling question, right, Turney? Because they're kind of interesting. So what are the chances we end up with these hideous grantor trust rules in the final version of the pending legislation? And the number of people that thought it was 100% was relatively low. And interestingly, the number of people who thought there was 0% was quite low. And there was a hefty number of answers indicating that they thought that there was a 51% chance or greater that we'd end up with those grantor trust rules. So what do you make of that?
Yeah, it's an interesting. I make of it that the estate planning community doesn't have a lot of confidence that Congress is going to do the right thing. It's what I would say. I think we have a whole bunch of cynics in the estate planning community and who are worried about this, and I think that's largely warranted myself.
Yeah,
I mean, I worry, and I know you do too.
Well, yeah, we're both worried about it, and I think it's kind of fun to see our worries validated across America, right? Okay.
There we go.
All right, on to our next polling question. The question is when will the IRS issue regulations on basis consistency? So answer A would be tomorrow. Answer B, before year end. Answer C, in year 2022. And answer D would be never. Clary and Turney, I'd like to get back to the results of our second polling question was, when will the IRS issue regulations on basis consistency? And so the answers are interesting. Tomorrow we had 1% of the audience answer yes. Before year end, about 10%. In 2022, it was 66%. And then never was 21%.
Turney, let's react to the answers to the second polling question. When are we going to get basis consistency final regulations? Interestingly, we have 1% that said tomorrow. That person or those people had to be answering facetiously because I don't think anybody seriously believes that, although that would at least be some indication that the IRS actually does consider them a priority. They're on the priority guidance plan, right? But a bunch of people, I think, Turney, correct me if your recollection's different, but I think we said like 66% said it would happen in 2022. So we're hoping for it. A few people said never, and they reflect the cynicism that many of us have about seeing stuff on the priority guidance plan that seems to drag on forever. So what do you think?
Yeah, well, we do have some stuff that some regulations in the 78, 72, things like that have been proposed since what, 1984 or some such, which may not be never, but 1984 is a long time ago. It seems.
And we waited 10 years for the qualified disclaimer regs.
Correct. So you can imagine that it could take a long. Things can take a long time. I think on basis consistency, we've been told informally that they're ready to go, and of course, as you know, they require multiple levels of approval. And in order to be approved, you've got to have people sitting in the chairs, and in order to have people sitting in the chairs, you have to have the president appoint them, and then you've got to have the Senate approve some of those people, and then they can appoint other people. And so the 2022 people would seem to say that, well, we think they're there, and eventually they'll get out. The tomorrow people would say, well, they're just there, and all somebody's got to do is lick the envelope, and out they come, and that might turn out to be right, but I'm kind of dubious on tomorrow.
Okay, well let's